can't believe it's been a decade already. Let's check out broadcasting then and now. Isaac graduated in 2016 and is now a student at Shippensburg University. He is currently a resident assistant and a member of the Student Government Association, as well as the Honor Student Organization and Resident Hall Association. His anticipated graduation date is May of 2020, with a major in international studies that focuses on Africa and the Middle East, as well as global comparative politics. Additionally, he is minoring in public administration.
Having Margaret as a student overseas. She's doing an exchange program in Turin. Right?
Hi guys, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Mike.
We're here with Isaac Dietrich, 2016 alum from Montgomery. He was the paved way, as we say, to the broadcasting program. So Isaac, what we have now is Red Raider 2 on our YouTube channel. You were the first, what we call lead editor now, in our program, per se. You were also a force behind our multi-level program that we have now between Broadcasting 1, 2, and 3. Were you aware at the time of what this would turn into?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you saying that. I'm not sure that's 100% true. But, you know, I was hoping that broadcasting would become something bigger than what it was at the time. I think we did well with what we had, but you know, I've been happy seeing all of the new technology that you guys have had, and the videos that you've put out have just become, you know, better and better quality. And you know, I'm proud to say that, you know, things have taken off in the way that they have.
All right. So then, if I'm correct, you're not pursuing a communications degree as of now, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so can you tell us what you are pursuing right now as a major?
Yeah, so I'm an international studies major with concentrations in Africa and the Middle East, as well as comparative global politics, and then I have a minor in public administration.
Okay. You know, with communications, we like to say to our class that communications plays a role in everything you do in your life as of now. What skills have you obtained from the class that you still have now to this day from communications?
Yeah, I mean, I think regardless of what you're planning to do with your future, not only do you get technical skills from the broadcasting at Montgomery, but you also learn how to talk in front of a camera, you learn how to conduct interviews, you learn communication skills and people skills, and you learn how to make relationships. And those are all things that you're going to need to do regardless of what you decide to pursue.
All right.
Quick question I have for you is, you were a very valued student in this program. You helped build the big foundation for what we have. Can you give us any big advice for kids in the class or kids upcoming that would like help build this program more and more?
Yeah, I mean, you just need to be willing to try new things and try things that might be out of your comfort zone. If you're not really, you know, if you're not sure of yourself to interview somebody that might have a, you know, a pretty decent position, you should go for it. The worst that will happen is that it doesn't work out the first time, but then you learn from those mistakes and you just try it again.
All right, I think that's all we have for you. We appreciate your time. You know, we know you're a busy college student as of now, so we do thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good luck with everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Finally, for boys soccer, we have Cam and Matt.
I'm Cameron St. James, and I'm here with the boys varsity soccer coach. Coach, how do you think the season's going so far?
Cameron St. James is a 2017 Montgomery graduate and is currently a sophomore at Kutztown University, where he is studying cinema, television, and media production. He is also independently employed as a creative director for Yoder insurance commercials and other real estate companies.
To the playoffs.
Well, there you have it. Back to the desk.
Hi guys, I'm here with Cam, alum from 2017. So Cam, we had the privilege to talk to Isaac earlier, and I understand that you were under him for a while, and then you took over after he left.
Yep.
When you were at that point in the program, did you think that we would be where we are now?
I do, only because of the people that were driving the program. And by that, I don't mean necessarily the students. I mean the drive of the faculty behind it, the teachers, between Mrs. McNear, Mr. Ulrich, and Mrs. Bowers. They very forward-oriented in the fact that we have no idea what we can do with the future, but we know that we're going to provide what we can. And it's always about the kids. So I was very hopeful for the future when I left, yeah.
So then, editor to editor, it takes it's always one or two kids every year. You know what I mean? That will get the chance to try. Like everybody gets the chance to try it, but not a lot of people like editing.
Yeah.
So editor to editor, we all have. You know, you have Isaac, then you, then we have Courtney, Mike, and me. We all have our different styles when we produce videos. If you watch each video, it's different. What advice would you give to the kids that look up to the editors and want to be an editor? Like, what would you give advice to them for?
Just to look at everything, but look at other people's work with an open mind. You know, like don't be afraid to put your input onto somebody else's work in the sense of, or even like the sense of when you're editing, you can always do little things that not everybody would do, and don't be afraid to try different things. I think the biggest thing is just do what you feel looks great, you know, and run with it. Just run with your ideas.
All right. So, through your high school career, you played basketball, you played other sports, and one of your main mottos was never settle. But that also correlated to broadcasting and your academics. Could you comment on how you use the never settle motto to carry your success through the program?
Yeah. And you're gonna have success in things that you work hard at. That's just gonna happen. But the biggest thing is not to get caught up in that success and always want to do more. So we had some phenomenal broadcasts, but we always wanted to do more, either doing short stories, short narratives in other places. So it's just always about wanting to push the level of success and, again, never settling with the success that you have and just always wanting to be better.
So if I'm correct, you're currently pursuing a communications degree.
Yeah, I'm currently at Kutztown University in the cinema, television, media production major.
Awesome. So as a class and as a school, we try to create this environment that if there are students that pursue this communications degree, it's exciting because they get that preparation in high school with broadcasting and these different aspects of it before they go into college. So how do you think being a part of the program in high school helped you to where you are now in college?
Well, from what I've seen at college, when I first stepped foot on campus, I felt like I had an edge just for how well-rounded I was in the field between internships that were available here, just the amount of hands-on work that the students here get compared to other places, and just having a program. There's many peers of mine that I have that their first experiences with even just touching a camera came at college, and when you're doing it since you're a freshman here in Montgomery, it really just makes you that much prepared and just that level above everybody else to where you can have a better chance of succeeding because you already have the hands-on work.
So you would agree then with the statement that our program definitely helps and prepares students for the communications world in college?
Oh, without a doubt. I don't think I'd be near as, I wouldn't say I'm successful yet, but as prepared for college without the program here at Montgomery.
All right. So this being our 10 years of the success that we've given to this program, we still want to never settle. What advice or goals would you set for the students and the teachers to make sure this program stays successful for the future?
Especially from what I've learned being in college is just in our department, it's so vast. There's so many different aspects of it. There's so many different small categories. You got news, you got just short anything,
Yeah.
So really just making sure that we are showing the kids the opportunities that are there in the field, whether that be in news broadcasting or just YouTube itself can be a job even. There's just so many different aspects of our department that I feel we need to keep emphasizing that the kids' creativity can take them anywhere in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing to be showing the kids right now. And that alone will propel the program, I really feel.
All right. Any last things you got to say about the program itself, your years, our years, anything?
I guess the biggest thing I would have to say would just be thank you to Montgomery and the teachers for really giving me, myself, and people coming and that have already come the opportunity to find a passion in their work. It's really
All right. Thank you for your time. We do understand you're a college student, so you got a busy schedule, but we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Hi guys, I'm here with Courtney, alum from last year. So Courtney, you graduated last year and you're going to Penn State right now, correct?
Yep.
What major are you pursuing right now?
I am currently going into advertising and public relations.
All right. So Penn State's definitely a jump from Montgomery, main campus, from a small school to a big school. And last year you focused more on setting the precedent for what we call our documentaries and our short films. So what did you take from that experience, even though you're not going into communications, onto that campus?
That was something I never thought I'd get into, so it was really a huge step into the unknown, but I had a lot of fun doing that, and it's something, even though I'm not currently going into a film major.
Mm-hmm.
I want to continue doing that, even just as a hobby or maybe even as a minor.
Okay.
And I feel like it will prepare me a lot for the workforce, because it's just something like that. Once again, I jumped into the unknown with, so I feel like that'll prepare me a lot.
So I actually like that you said the workforce part, because what we're trying to push right now is trying to show students that are in the class how it can translate to the workforce. So what skills specifically would you say that you picked up from a communications background?
Well, definitely with editing, that's a really good thing to know, especially with the software we use. We use Final Cut Pro, and that is like the best software out there. I've used Adobe Premiere, and it's okay. Like, I definitely have learned a lot from this to adapt to that, and that definitely helps a lot with going into the workforce, getting that little extra knowledge, and then just simple things like camera work and knowing how to interview and talk to people, even if that's not exactly what you'd be doing, it helps a lot.
Yeah. So then, with the short films that you embarked on last year, specifically the fall sports documentary that was, I'm not going to speak for you, but probably your most proudest work, I would assume.
Yeah.
With that documentary, we have different levels in broadcasting, which we're very proud to have developed that sort of mesh in the class. How could you explain necessarily what that process is like? Not just going out for a regular weekly interview, more like taking weeks to plan through something more serious, more hard-hitting, and something that you know that a lot of more people are going to see.
Even though I had a bigger time frame with that, I felt like it was a lot more stress because it was a bigger project in a way, because it was on its own. So it's something that you need to work through 1,000 times, watch it over 50 million times, just to make sure that everything's almost near perfect. And it's a very nitpicky process, but it's also a really fun process because you watch it and then you get new ideas and then you keep adding to it to make it better and better.
So, I specifically remember working on some of the stuff, not only for that project, but for other shorter films last year that involved a lot of outside filming. So, can you explain a little bit about how you went about going outside into the field, after school hours and filming?
Specifically with the fall sports documentary, we took a lot of time. I was in the marching band, but I took cameras, and I had Carter, he took cameras out with me, and we filmed during games. We went to some soccer games, worked around our schedules to make sure we could make it. And then I remember I was with Dylan in the car to get out my sunroof to get the lights for the field, and just coming up with creative shots. That was a lot of fun. And I remember going to practices for football and having Mr. Bozzella let us film different things, and that was a lot of fun.
So, editor to editor, we're interviewing you now, interviewing Cam and Isaac. In that process, we've liked to sit down with every interviewer and talk about just what you feel editing means to you, because it's definitely one of those things that takes a certain individual and a certain dedication to try it and just to step out into that barrier, not just filming or being the interviewer, but taking the time to sit down and actually decide what needs to go where and how that process works. What do you think has changed, not only just because you graduated last year, from last year to this year, from anything you've seen so far or anything of that sort?
Well, I know we first started out with using iMovie a lot, and that was a very basic program, and we moved to Final Cut, which is a lot more detailed. And eventually, as we kept progressing, we made logos like these, which they all have a nice collective look to them, which I'm glad we got that going, I guess. It was weird because sophomore year I was placed in this class, and I actually did not want it at all, and I was trying to change it to history with Mr. Stetler, but I couldn't get that changed for some reason, and so I was like, okay, I'll deal with it. And I started editing videos with Megan and Maddie as my partners, and I just fell like in love with it. I remember it was the Raider Bowl. I made the intro, and it had like Mr. Snyder doing like a flip on the court and stuff like that, and it was just really awesome. And then I couldn't take it junior year, but I came back senior year, and it was like I fell in love with it all over again, and it was just a really good feeling, and learning all these new things, and like watching old videos and seeing like where we can come from that, and like how we can learn from it and make our videos better, and then teaching people like you, and it was just an amazing experience.
So we try to push in our program here that we want to try to, if anybody's pursuing communications, that we have the best program they can possibly receive. How do you think we stack up against other programs out there, not only at the high school level, but even for college, sending kids off into either college or the workforce, doing this type of, work? How do you think we, prepare our kids here?
I think very well. I know that even though we had like a working relationship, we also have a friendship. And I know Dylan has come to me even when I'm at college, and he asked me like, how could I make this better? And I wrote him like 3 pages out of critique to just, and it wasn't even necessarily bad things. It was things that he could either do next time or things that he did great already. And I think that's just really important, is the critique work and making sure like you get better every single time. And every time I watch one of these broadcasts, I see that. And it's just really awesome to see you guys learning from things and expanding to things I haven't even done.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm here with Mrs. Bowers, our superintendent here at Montgomery. So, Mrs. Bowers, you've seen everything we've had in this broadcasting program since it first started. What was your original idea for it and your goals that you set as it grew?
The original goals have always centered around careers in, specifically at that time, broadcast journalism. And we talked with our team of teachers. We started off with some things like we were talking computer animation, communications, where did we want to go? We purchased equipment, and we set off primarily covering our sports programs and doing broadcasts mainly on those types of programs. As the curriculum grew and our teachers became certified in other areas and continued to grow with technology, our program became very popular and morphed into something that covers so much more than just communications or broadcasting or just journalism. It kind of plays a part in curriculum across the entire junior, senior high, whether it's English or social studies, whatever. It plays a role. The soft skills that are involved in this program, what this program has taught our students to do as far as coming in and talking with adults and being able to look that person in the eye. Someone like you who can just walk in front of a camera and give an interview on the fly. Students that I can rely on as the superintendent of the school district to just pull someone like you from this program and say, hey, let's do some kind of coverage of this curricular event that we're doing. And you just take it and run with it and do a phenomenal job. Those types of experiences, whether it's doing a commercial for Murray Motors or those career opportunities are something that most high school students are not exposed to. The technology that we use, we're very thankful to Brady Township, who helps us financially to purchase the technology that you are able to use on a daily basis, things that you wouldn't see until you were in college if you were majoring in communications or broadcasting. So I don't know, I'm excited. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. So you kind of hit on it, but what we're trying to push, especially this year, is that we're trying to be competitive with not only our high schools, but colleges, because we feel if we can exceed the baseline in high school, that, you know, you're ahead of other people when you get to college, which will help you, you know, further your learning and your education and what you're going to pull out of the programs, you know, post high school. You see that. You get to see every single level, all the way from pre-kindergarten up to college. How do you think that the Montgomery Broadcasting program stacks, not only against rival high schools, but colleges and universities? What would you say about that?
Well, I may be biased about Montgomery, but I think it's a top-notch program. I think we rank right up there with some of the largest schools in what we're offering. With Future Ready, our goal is definitely to try to help students explore careers so that they know what they're going to college for prior to entering college, spending a whole lot of money, and not having a career goal or a focus. So I believe with all of our programs and with this communications program, we're exposing our students to opportunities so that when you do walk into that freshman year of college, which is very intimidating, sometimes you don't know what you want to do, and that first semester can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
If you are walking in with a lot of these skills that you're going to not see for the first time in a college program, you can be confident in that program and excel. And that is what we have seen with some of our graduates. Okay, so with any quality program, one of the most important things in having students interested in that program in high school is the teacher. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I would say, along with having quality programs, meaning the materials that we need to move forward with this program, we also have phenomenal teachers who have dedicated themselves to these programs and dedicate themselves to the students. And the quality of student that I see, like in you, or with many of our students graduating from Montgomery, their ability to go out and advocate for themselves, I attribute that to the relationships that we have here within our school.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. We know your time is, you know, very limited, and we appreciate that not only you've created this relationship with us, that any student can walk into your office and not, you know, be scared or worried, because that's something that as a small school we appreciate, and that we're all truly a family within these walls, and it's great. So thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Mike.
We're here to talk a little bit about what broadcasting means to us, as we've interviewed alums, administrators, and teachers. Mike, you want to go ahead and start it off?
Yeah, so like when I first came to this program freshman year, really didn't know what to expect. I thought it was just going to be something less than what it is now. But after being hands-on with it, opening up my creativity and working with one of our alumni, Cam St. James, he showed me the ropes how to do this, and after taking over, I really enjoyed the program. And I've been happy with what we've made out of it so far. What about you?
Yeah, I have to say, like, it was nice as a junior this year. Freshman year, I didn't have the class, but I was very around the environment a lot of the time. I even a little bit dabbled with Cam on stuff like that. Then sophomore year, having it, knowing a little bit about Final Cut, like, already, and then, like, working with Courtney. Courtney and I's, like, friendship that gelled into how we worked together. Overall, I think definitely introduced me to what it needed to be for me It was very comfortable and familiar, and we got our stuff done. And Courtney and I had to learn how to not only be friends, but also, hey, sometimes we're not going to agree. And I think that's something that's valuable to anybody in any field. And then just this year, I feel like we've definitely, even in my 2 or 3 years of this, I've seen progression, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the level 1 students every year that are very eager to get going with stuff.
Right. So with those relationships comes a lot of project management. Obviously, we know a lot about them.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over the process of, for you anyways, what's the process of you making all these projects, or like just the time management? Like, how does that affect you?
Well, I know for sure right away, once we figure out what our goal is for the project, I would consult with you or any of the other level 1s that are showing interest in editing, where we're going to start, knowing when to film, knowing when to, bring clothes in, so we look professional, or if we have to film over a course of a few days, knowing that, we're keeping it that still very consistent look, and overall then just finishing out the editing process, which is probably the most chunk of time. But, I mean, you and I both know editing in a period, it can be challenging, but it can also be, very exhilarating, and you know that you have to get it done in a certain amount of time.
To kind of build off of that, I would say for our projects that get recognized through like the state level, national level, like we have the awards for, to me that's a great representation of what we do and what we did for this program. Like for me, once I move on, I can use these skills for my next career. My career is going to be sports management. I can use that to make videos for athletes, stuff like that. So I am grateful for what I learned in this class, and I'm sure you can probably use it when you graduate too.
Yeah. So like, even though I intend to pursue a finance degree, I've never been more comfortable with people, and that's something that I appreciate and I value in myself, because even as a freshman, like I still knew how to talk to people, but I didn't necessarily feel as comfortable, and I was a scared freshman. We all know how that goes being in high school. Even before that, like in elementary, like I was very scared, and it was things like in 6th grade trying out and doing participating with Virtuoso with Shrek, doing things on stage ever since then, and even broadcasting, being able to go to the superintendent and interview her and not be like scared, because the school breeds that small environment feel that we're all a family, and you truly don't have to be scared to talk to anybody. And that is something that's so valuable that like so many people overlook. But when you can go into the real world, and I always say it, when you can go into the real world and shake somebody's hand and not be worried, then you have the soft skills attained to succeed in the real world.
Right. To go along with that, like someone like me, I had a hard time talking to people in general or speaking in front of people. But after being in the class and realizing that, hey, the community's going to be seeing this.
Yeah.
What I do, whether I'm on camera or behind it, and then doing the announcements here at the school.
Yeah.
That helped me speak in front of the grades as we did the mock elections.
Yeah.
I was up there and I was speaking in front of everyone. It helps get rid of that social anxiety, which is a big reason that I hope younger kids get into this class, because it really helps you overcome things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And then just as a last note, I guess, to go off that, like if anybody, advice to anybody watching that's still in middle school, like try new things. Not necessarily broadcasting. Try new things, because you never know what you're going to learn. I can speak, though, from broadcasting's, perspective. I can definitely say that if you do have an interest in it, try it. Like, just take the class. If you can't get it freshman year, get it sophomore year, because it's going to help you in the real world. Like, I can almost guarantee that for everybody. So just be willing to try things, for sure. Broadcasting is one of them. It's a good thing. It's created a good vibe. You have not only our word, but all the alumni that you just watched us interview. They all said positive things about it. It's a good program, and it helps a lot of people. So if you're looking to take it, try it.
You never know what kind of doors it could open.
Exactly. Thank you.